Hello, welcome back to the Single Society. My name is Jo, and this is the podcast where we're going to reframe the conversation about being single. We're going to look at things from a much more positive lens and celebrate all that is best in singles' life. Now, the first episodes that I've been releasing have very much been exploring self love, friendships, and all those things are enormously important. I do also want to acknowledge, though, that for some of you listening, it may be that you would at some stage like to meet a life partner or a partner for a time, whatever works for you. Now, you will never hear me say that that is something you should be doing because I just fundamentally don't believe that that is the case. There is a huge amount of joy to be found in being single, and it is a good choice for now, it is a good choice forever, if that is the choice for you. But of course, a lot of people would like to be in a relationship at some point. It may be that having a family is important to you at some stage. Now, if that is you, I am going to be talking about consent when it comes specifically to singles nights. Now, I run singles nights myself. I run them at the time of recording in Manchester, in Preston, and in York. I am in the process of expanding, so depending when you're listening to this, you may find that there are singles nights near you now as well. But at the moment, there are singles nights in Manchester, Preston, and York. And I really try to ensure that they are spaces where people can come in a safe environment, a relaxed place. They're held in local independence, and you can get to know other single people in your local area. Now, there are sort of two main reasons to come. One would be you are actively looking for a partner at the moment, but another reason might also be you're open to dating, it's something that you're considering, but you are also really interested in getting to know lots of single people in your community, similar age, similar stage of life. They're run in multiple different age brackets, so you will be at an event with people roughly of a similar age to yourself. And that is really valuable as well, to be around other single people. So, this is something to come to only when it feels right for you. And this sort of series that I'm going to do is all around that idea. This first episode is going to think about consent of you coming to a singles night in the first place, whether it's mine or somebody else's. You need to actively opt in to going, and at a time when it feels right for you. When we use the word consent, we very often only really think of it in a sexual context. And it's fantastic that there's been so much conversation around that and the importance of consent in that. But consent essentially is saying yes to something enthusiastically. And there are all different occasions in life where we might need to have boundaries in place, where we need to actively say yes and sign up to something. Certainly it can't be a passive choice. Now, attending a singles night is one of those occasions. So this whole series, there's going to be 7 episodes around consent. This is the first one, and we're going to be focusing in on what does it mean to consent to come to a singles night. And it might sound really obvious because if you buy a ticket, you've bought a ticket, you've consented. It's not actually as straightforward as that. The first thing I'm going to say is occasionally I will have people come to a singles night who will have had their ticket bought for them from someone else. It could be a family member, could be a friend, as a present of some kind. And the first thing I will always want to check is this something you want? Because it's not always, often it's absolutely fine, but it is just a little bit of a red flag for me as a host if they've not bought the ticket themselves, because it just makes me think, is this what you want? Do you want to come to a singles night? Or has a possibly well intentioned, possibly not so well intentioned family member or friend thought they're single, they've decided for you that's a problem, even though it very possibly isn't, and they've then bought a ticket for you to come. So I will try and check if people get in touch with me and they say, oh, like my cousin bought me a ticket, I will then have a conversation with them and make sure it's okay. So that's one element of consent, is just making sure that those people really want to be there. They are genuinely looking for a partner, and that's something that they've actively opted into. The other area is more subtle. So if people have bought a ticket for themselves, then of course you think, well, yeah, they've consented to be at the event, they have made that choice independently. But I am going to encourage you to reflect before you go to a singles night. And as I say, this really doesn't just apply for the nights that I host myself. This is true for any singles night you might go to, or a speed dating, a singles party, anything like that. There are just certain questions that you should really be asking yourself before going. The biggest one, obviously, is what's the motivation? What is making you want to go? Is it that you are looking for a partner? Is it that you're wanting to make other single friends in the area? And if it's particularly if it's that you're wanting a partner, why? Where is that coming from? And that's a big question and it's a very personal one. Now, there's a danger when I start kind of reframing the conversation about being single that I start to make it sound as if I'm anti being in a relationship, which I'm not at all. I think having a life partner can be a really, really beautiful thing. It can open up, lots of support, lots of creativity. It's absolutely something that can be hugely positive. I just don't think it's something that should be the default. So when thinking, I'm single, I want a partner, I'm going to go to a singles life, it's just adding in this extra step of where has that desire come from? Is that something that feels right for me in my life right now? Or is that a desire that's sort of been put there by somebody else? Society, a friend, family members. If people keep asking you, oh, are you still single? Are you seeing anyone? That starts to get into your subconscious. And it may be that you think, no, do you know what? I'm quite happy right now. And if that's the case, it's probably not for you. So just take some time to reflect on that a little bit. And then if you are feeling like, yes, I do want a partner, I'm ready to come, it's thinking about exactly what you're looking for. Is this something where you're kind of dipping your toe in, you're just building your confidence with dating again, which is absolutely fine? Are you looking for a life partner? Are you looking for something more short term? Are you going to be traveling? What do you want from a relationship? Who are you looking for? And I think, I would never say to people, please don't come with a sort of tick list of requirements, but certain things. So thinking about what values are important to you, that really matters. So please do follow along with the rest of the episodes in this little series around consent. We're going to be thinking more about what consent looks like in the context of a singles night. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe and you'll be able to follow along for the rest of those episodes. See you there.